Aim with mouse was never this easy to learn, especially for controller players. Visit mouseconsole.com.
Who are you? I don't know, but I'm writing to you anyway. Where are you? How far in the future? Where'd you find my journal? I may never know, but you can know me from what I put down on these pages. I come from a little village in the mountains. No one has left here since before I was born. But our lives changed overnight. Just a few days ago when my best friend had a prophetic dream. A vision that the elder said means this season is going to end soon. The world is about to enter a new era. A great change is coming. Everyone was afraid. I was surrounded by questions and I began to feel how little I know. What is this season that is about to end, and why is it ending? What exactly is out there that could turn the world inside out? If there are still voices singing and laughing in the wilderness, I could record them before they're gone. I also thought of my dad, who always wanted to see the outside world but never did. So, I asked if I could leave. The elder had one condition for letting me go. That I take what I collect to the museum vault, a palace of art and memory at the edge of the earth. She says it's the only place safe from the turmoil of a changing season. I hope that's where you're reading this now. I can't stop the change that is coming, but this time on Earth could live on in these pages. What it looks like, sounds like, how it feels to be alive right now. I'm writing to you at the crack of dawn on the morning I leave home. I can smell breakfast cooking in the other room, and I can hear my mom's voice.
Three, two, one. Hooray! Mr. Lotto's here.
my bag, and Dad's camera, ready for the great departure.
You're up. It's gonna be a beautiful morning. I'm making progress. I found the burner, camera, recorder, travel bag. Breakfast is in progress. Still gotta make a pendant. We haven't used this in so long. Good thing I saved the instructions. Just as you would use a shield to protect your body, an identity pendant protects your mind, your thoughts, memories, everything that makes you, you. We don't wear them here in the village anymore, but if you're going into the outside world, I'll feel better when you've got a pendant shielding you. Diseases of the mind, like the dream sickness. It was Dr. Fumio's last invention. He realized that some psychedelic maladies were impossible to cure, so he made the pendant to prevent them in the first place. If you have a better idea how to protect your brain from being destroyed, let's hear it. That's what I thought. In times of war, a pendant can be used to identify a body. Let's skip that part. Objects have two layers, the physical and the mental. The pendant needs to absorb both. 1. Collect a sentimental object for each sense: sound, smell, feel, sight, taste. 2. Feel the sense and speak aloud a memory of the object. 3. Feed the object into the burner. The memory will leave the speaker as it is transferred to the pendant. That means I'll forget the memory after I say it. It's supposed to be painless. At least. Okay, so this old tape should work for our sense of sound. I remember you and I fell asleep listening to this tape. Your dad came home. We all rested together until it got dark. What an odd feeling. Like an absence, disappearing. The empty space fills itself back in until I forget that I forgot anything at all. I'm glad I'm only losing a few memories. If I lost too many, I wouldn't even know who you are. You should pick the rest of the objects. I'll lose the memories, but you'll have them independent forever. So they should be important to you. They should be parts of your identity you want to be sure to protect. So think about what these items and what the memories would preserve about you. Let's do smell next. Find an object with a strong odor and that holds a piece of you.
Childhood. Too sweet, too old. I always wanted to experience new things.
What did you choose for smell? Let's breathe in deep. This ginger drink has been in our family for generations. And you, as soon as you were old enough to talk, you said, "Let's drink it." It's hundreds of years old. Like you already wanted to experience something different. Well, we all had one horrible sip. But boy, we laughed. What would we do without you? What will we do without you? Now touch. Pick something with a texture you like.
Brittle, soft, wilted. Nothing is ever lost.
So what did you end up choosing? Okay. Feel the object. Your dad used to bring these flowers home from his climbs. They only grow high up in the mountains. He was a great climber. He even found us a new source of water. I hoped after he would climb less, maybe even retire. But he always wanted to explore, and the only direction to go was up. Maybe the elder is letting you leave out of guilt for what happened to your dad. If someone has the energy to leave, it needs to go somewhere. He fell into the Fitz ravine. We never found his body. But doesn't he rest with us at night? Doesn't he appear in our dreams? How can such a human being depart this earth without leaving behind a trace as strong as the flowers would still have their scent? Darling, I don't want to lose this one. I can't lose this one. Can we put the flowers back, please? Thank you.
My hand in my own hand. This speaks to how my mom loves me.
So what did you end up choosing? Okay, put your hand in the hand. Oh, I remember it so well. It's not as bad now, but in the old days, not many children lived long enough to grow up. We believed if a child could make it to the age of 9, they'd be all right. This print was made of your hand when you turned 9. Your father and I couldn't believe we really had a healthy girl. An old deep fear inside of me finally went away, and we saw you would just keep growing and growing, that everything was going to be okay. I'm fine. Let's do sight nicks. Pick something that looks nice.
Gray textured crumble. A friend gave me this a long time ago.
So, what did you end up choosing? I remember. This was in the months after your father passed. You didn't seem sad, but you just weren't interested in anything. It was hard to know what to do. One day, you and your friend Pate went fishing. You didn't catch anything, of course, but when I was putting away your bucket, we found this creature there. Pate had dropped it in without you noticing. I remember how it made you smile, and I felt, oh, no matter how much things have changed, I will get to see my little girl smile again. For taste, we can eat breakfast and feed some to the burner. The memory I'll lose is the one we're forming right now. I want you to have it forever. Standing here, you're having a last taste of home. Now you're protected by lost memories. A gem of home around your neck. This is my only condition for letting you go. You must promise me never to take the pendant off. And never tamper with it. Okay? Then I'm okay with you leaving. I think your camera and bag are still in your room. It's time to gather them up. I've lost so much. How could the world ask me to lose you too? Look at us. There we are. There we were. We'll always be right here on this beautiful morning.
I just performed a ritual with my mom. The moment has passed, but I'll record it in these pages for you, for the future. I never knew when my mom would share a memory of Dad while cooking, on a walk, with no warning. It knocked the wind out of me. Rituals take this grief and give it a shape and a story. Filling in this journal is a ritual too, but for a loss that hasn't hit us yet. I've brought tools to record the sights and sounds of this season. I'll start by recording the only place I've ever known. We have plenty of fresh water here. I wonder if it's more scarce in the outside world. Last night there was a goodbye party here in the plaza. Everyone was so afraid for me. To understand that fear, To understand where I grew up, you have to know the man standing watch over the plaza, Dr. Fumio. This is Dr. Fumio and his son. The statue isn't as old as it looks. The artist wore it down to give it a feeling of ancientness and the authority that comes with it. Dr. Fumio and his son founded Cairo back in 776. They live on through our traditions. There are 3 murals celebrating Dr. Fumio's work. I had to drink this gross potion last night. Like my pendant, it's supposed to protect my brain. Cairo village was founded during the modernity. Much later, Dr. Fumio arrived and remade it in his image. This flower means you're in my thoughts. The morning after the search was called off for Dad, our doorstep was covered in them.
Is it recording?
Yes.
Okay. How to leave home for my daughter. Find a sacred square of earth. Lay down so you have the dirt at your back. Close your eyes. everything. Do you see for yourself? You see for the dead, for the unborn. Do you listen for yourself? You listen for the dead, for the unborn. Your ancestors are in that dirt. All the living and all the dead are holding you up. Now, stand. They're still there, aren't they? It's time to move, to entangle yourself everywhere with everyone. So the next time you lay down in the dirt, you will have so much more to tell them.
Pate fixed up 3 bikes instead of 1. They were right. The letter never made it. The season before this one, the war, seems so horrible. We learned about old technology in school, but not much about animals. What are these strange goat-like creatures? Are they simply goats? My first time petting an animal. I think it went pretty well. I cycled through landscapes, seeing them for the first and last time. I had no idea when I left my home how the season would end, or more importantly, how soon. On a cold, damp day, I feel true loneliness for the first time. Nobody could have described with words how big this world is, how it goes and goes. I passed through it, where others passed before me. Someone was out here alone. They kept themselves company with music. Two voices is like me and my mom. We can survive, but eventually you need more. Looks like they made it out of here. But what is this group? In the empty places, I found companionship in the tapes I recorded before leaving home. The elder told me the story of her life. I listened back to it, ready to note down anything that seemed important.
Let's set the scene for the listener. Whoever that might be. This is the elder speaking. We're sitting in the plaza, saying goodbye to a dear soul. We're here to see if there's anything useful in my mind that could help you on your trip. A century's worth of memories, dreams, fantasies, visions. Like a big, old, haunted library. When I die, this library will burn down. But which book should we check out first? I don't have all the answers, but I do feel the story of my life could help you understand what kind of world is out there. It's okay not to understand everything right away. The moment may pass before you've gotten a firm hold on it, but as long as you're there to witness it, to take it down in your journal, you and others to come will someday take the time to make sense of it all. I heard, somebody told me, you want to capture what it's like to be alive during this season? For the future? And you want to understand why and how the season is going to end. The season of my youth is long gone. But I can tell you what that season was like and what I know about how it ended. First, I got old. That's an important step. Being an elder is all about how you react to strange events. The key is not to be surprised, but kind of frown, look serious, and say something like, "It begins." Never say, "I don't know." Say, "We dive into a pool of uncertainty." I was born on the ocean. My mother and father worked on a cruise ship. The short-lived but glorious watery republics, floating cities. Most won their independence by the time I was born. How can I describe them? They were a jewel of the golden season. Pleasure boats with a radical political program. How nice. The golden age was a time of flags, logos, mottos, mastheads. My mom taught me to read them. She was the ship's philosopher. My dad was a recycling engineer. Recycling on the ship was a matter of life and death. We had to get the most out of every object and watt of energy. My grandparents played with the past. They changed it like we change our wardrobe. So it was a different answer every time. But they often said we were exiles of some kind. Exiled royalty from a secret lineage. Blood that glows in the dark. or were exiled from the mouth of some great leviathan. When they were older, they just said, "We're from here. We're from right now." I loved the way the ship would tilt and roll with the waves, especially as I fell asleep. It was so comforting. Picture me as a kid in bed, feeling the swaying of the ship. It was like being rocked to sleep as a baby. I loved exploring the ship too, wandering through the suites, the swimming pool, the game rooms, and there were 2 dance halls. A large, elegant one and another one in the basement. A lot of my firsts were down there. My first dance, my first kiss, and so forth. Our ship was taken over in the early days of the war. That was the end of the watery republics. I heard the dance hall in the basement became a weapons cache. Took me half my life to say goodbye to the world I knew in my youth. Imagine me and my parents and everyone I knew being escorted off the ship by a company of soldiers. And I'm thinking, I hope they don't make a mess of my room. I was embarrassed by the younger kids who were crying their eyes out. But they knew, I guess. Even as things got bad, I couldn't imagine the changes were permanent. It's easy now to look back and say, the internationalism of the golden season was violently breaking down. You can be naive about all kinds of things, but not war. Most of my life has been spent in isolated communities, and the one moment I was in the wild world, you couldn't pick a more chaotic time. And we had been warned this season was going to end. Oh, but we didn't understand the warning. You see, one night, along a coastline, we saw beautiful lights shimmering above the water. Later, we found out this was an ancient warning system. It hadn't been used in so long. We didn't know what it meant. We just thought, well, ain't that pretty? We tried to stick together and camped out on the coast of the prismatic grounds. A kingdom of art and science. They got rich during the golden season. Everything that made them beloved before the wealth came. Passionate, uncompromising, self-obsessed. Made them unbearable once they had power. Artists make terrible kings. Are you sure you want me to keep going? The story gets darker from here on. Okay, so conditions in the camp were getting worse. My mom got lost in thought for long periods of time. She'd be completely still for hours, days even. We realized she caught, well, now we call it time misperception disorder. It's when you lose your ability to tell how much time is passing. A minute can feel like an hour. A day can pass in 10 seconds. What's so hard is the feeling of absolute loneliness. Normally, we're all at least roughly in the same flow of time. But with this disorder, you walk alone, truly. We heard about a traveling doctor who could cure these kinds of diseases. I decided to go find him. I found out his name was Dr. Fumio, and he traveled with his son Lucio. People talked about him like he was a god. I described my mom's condition to Dr. Fumio. He said there was no cure yet, but there was a village high in the mountains. He thought it was high enough he'd have a better chance at treatment. Lower places are more dangerous. Valleys are the worst. He invited me to join them in going to the village, but I wanted to go back and get my parents and bring them with me. I packed my things and got ready to leave the next morning. That night, my mom came to me in a dream. She was standing in a field of flowers. I'd grown since I last saw her. We were the same height. She pressed a finger hard into my palm. She taught me well. I knew the meaning of the gesture. I knew no matter what I did, I'd never see my parents again. In the morning, I told Dr. Fumio I would follow him to Karo village. The next few weeks were very physically tiring, hiking, climbing. And when we found the village, building, planting, cleaning, Fumio brought sick people from all over the world. and they got better. The treatments worked. Everyone was healing. So why couldn't I? One day, we got word the war was over. We never found out how it ended. It was like peace just swept over the earth in a split second. There was a party in the plaza to celebrate the end of the war, but I couldn't bring myself to go. Yes, it was over, but it had taken my home, my family. That night, as I was falling asleep, I felt the bed tilt and sway gently, as if it was being tossed on the waves of the ocean, as if I was back in my bedroom on the ship, as if I was back in my mother's arms, being rocked gently to sleep. I knew I was finally home, and nothing could hurt me.
I imagined coming upon a place as hidden and singular as my own village. Eventually, I found myself circling a valley, looking for a way in.
Oh. Valley. 1 second.
I'm not the first to do this, just the first in a long time.
Is that a strotophob? What are they called? What is it? I love old gear like that. It's getting more and more rare. I had a camera, but it broke. Not that interesting of a story, I guess. What are you doing here? It is some moment we got going here. But I don't want to talk your ear off. What kind of stuff are you recording? Oh yeah, civilization they call it. The valley would be a good place to use those tools. Too bad it's closed down. Let me finish up here, huh?
It seems like I'll have to wait for night to enter the shrine.
Hey! This was like a second home for a while. That was fun earlier when you showed up. And I was carrying the cardboard man. You were like, who are these guys? I've been pretty bored here. You know, the valley's gonna be flooded soon. That's why nobody can go in there. The dam is falling apart. It's too old. There's nobody left who knows how to repair it. We're taking it down so we'll know when it'll collapse. It gives us time to evacuate everyone. Greyhounds. We're a community organization. We do all kinds of fun stuff. Health clinics, mine sweeping, daycare, evacuations, weddings. We're new. We'll do anything to make the future better than the present. No big deal. We're trying to get new things going. But it's hard. The past really has a tight grip on people. Doesn't feel like a fair fight. So we're trying to... well... anyway. It's funny. I stood guard here for a week, and I've only seen greyhounds like myself, and valley people on their way out. But now I see you, and you're like a... new element, or something. I've never met anyone doing what you're doing. And we greyhounds gotta support new things. So... I'm not supposed to let anyone in. How can I? Jeez. I think you should go down into the valley and take a look. Gotta try something here. Dang it. I was trying to wink. Well, you get the idea. Go on and put that old gear to use. You can take my map of the valley, too. I don't need it anymore. I'll be down to pick everyone up around midnight. See you then.
I met a greyhound. He let me into the valley. I think he wanted me to record what the greyhounds were up to. And he gave me a map. The assembly point seemed like a good place to start. I wonder what he expects me to discover in the valley. I am probably the last person that will ever be welcomed here by this sign. The elder told me there's very little information about the years before 500. I have wondered about the lives beneath unkept graves.
God of sleep, I've been gathering heartache and I've been gathering courage. If my big prayer is wrong, if it goes against divine will, please spare the people of this valley.
Memory told over and over again. These metal animals are looking up, expectantly. There must be a lot of people going to the city if they need to keep track of them with cards. Imagine if the man I met is the only living greyhound, and the rest are cardboard. The greyhounds want to end this season. They say they're going to build the next season. How? It's hard to imagine something new, a new way of living, but they're trying. The elder also said low places are dangerous. The city is high up like my village. Maybe it is safer. There seems to be suspicion about the real condition of the dam and why it's being taken down.
Oh, thank God someone is still down there. I've been trying to get a hold of someone for hours. Ah, thank you. I forgot the Day Zero materials. You know, the visual literature, the warm bath of ideas? I left it at the dig site. It should be sitting on a barrel with a fruit sticker on it. Oh, wait! Hold on. I forgot to do the secret password. I don't even know who you are. Is it too late now, you think? Okay. What day is the day after tomorrow? Who is this? I'm not going to say anything else. I'm just going to hang up right now.
I've never drank cow's milk, let alone some kind of frozen version. Is that your name on your collar? Let's see, you are Madrigal. And you are Mata. Looks like there's no one around anymore to enforce this. There are a lot of these signs. They must really want to keep people out of this area. I found a dig site that is fenced off from view. What were they doing here? A greyhound said he left his materials behind. It should be somewhere around here. They look relieved to have finished their work. There's a big tree with a researcher's notebook inside it somewhere. The work at the dig site has something to do with Day Zero. This is the kind of brain trouble my mom warned me about. The memories of the owner now turned into a beautiful mineral. Are they planning to perform some sort of prayer on Day Zero? What is Day Zero? Maybe I can find out more about it. I wonder what's on this reel. I wonder what this channel is for. They must have already shipped out all the Harpic they need. Memories and emotions condensed into a mineral. A mineral that can affect the mind. To what extent? The bird stole a small trinket. I left the bird its prize, but maybe I can learn more about the locket. The tree looks healthy. The ritual must have worked. I hope I get to taste some saba fruit. If it merits a sticker, must be pretty good. I had an uncle who collected tools that were so old nobody knows what they were used for.
Oh, no, no, no! You said we had until midnight. I'm not ready to leave. Look at all this. Wait a minute. A cute outfit, a bicycle. You're not a greyhound. Oh, what a relief. I'm sorry. I just assumed because who else would be... What are you doing here? Well, I'm Sofon. My boy Kochi is skulking around here somewhere. Welcome to Tiang Valley. You should have been here a week ago when the evacuation started. Almost everyone is gone now. You noticed, I hope, that the valley is going to be flooded. The Greyhands are taking us to live in the Radiant City. Look! See how they put the dimensions on the back? I recreated our future apartment here, on the lawn. This is the space we have to work with, to live in. I'm trying to really imagine what it'll be like. We're going from a big farm to one room, and we need to be packed by tonight. I already packed for myself and my son, but my husband Yuri is a little harder to pack for because he passed away recently. And I can't bring all his things. It's not realistic. His stuff is still... It's all here. It's okay. You said you wanted to meet people, right? Well, here I am. This lawn is my whole life. We can do this. Just need to decide. Yuri learned to paint from our neighbor, Matiora. He painted all 3 of these. This is a self-portrait he did. Kind of intense, right? He was more handsome than that. I wish he could have seen himself the way I saw him, you know? He was really lovely. Just occasional dark moods from his work. This is his portrait of me. We got into a fight over it. What's that supposed to mean? You just splatter some paint on the canvas and put my name on it? He said it was my essence. I don't know. Do you think it looks like me? He painted this for Kochi. Some kind of private joke between the 2 of them. I don't get it. They were both interested in the war and how it ended. I'm not. I just pray nothing like that will ever happen again. Which painting should I take with me? Yes, you're right. Himself from his own eyes, something I could never see without this painting. I've packed my essential clothes. I don't know what to do with these. This was Yuri's best suit. Maybe when Kochi grows up, it'll fit him. That's a long time away, though. My island dress. I made this for our trip to the islands, the trip we never took. It was based on a photo of a seaside Azan dance. The hours I spent on this. These are some of Yuri's clothes from when he was a kid. I thought Kochi could wear them, but he says they're itchy. So what's the use? But to throw them away, he was a little boy. He would put these clothes and go to school. He grew up. Oh, God, this hurts a little. Okay. Yes, of course we'll bring this. I should bring anything that helps Kochi remember his dad. All right, this is going well. But I feel like I'm forgetting something. Or someone. The demon of shame and mourning. How could I have forgotten? Now, where did I put him? We need to bring the demon of shame and mourning. When someone dies and you're in mourning, you're supposed to keep the demon in sight at all times. He's supposed to remind you of your regrets. It's a religious thing. Our old cart broke. I overloaded it. So I had to use the wheels of his bicycle. Now he's so mad he won't say a word. These are Yuri's books. They're pretty heavy. This is an old religious book, The Prism of Yesterday. He didn't like to talk about his faith. I haven't read it much. Maybe there's a part of him in these pages. A part I never understood, that I could still glimpse. Maybe he would want me to keep this one. But I don't know. It just doesn't mean much to me. Yuri found this old tourist guide to the valley before we moved here. He was so excited. But this guide is really out of date. It's from way before the war. There's something optimistic about the colors they used. Yuri really wanted to take a trip to the archipelago together. We prepared for it a lot. Even taught ourselves a bit of the language from this book. But we never made the trip. It was always going to be soon, but it never happened. Seems like the kind of thing no one does anymore. Which should I take with me? We have a special feeling for the season just before us, the one our parents grew up in. It's like it was right there, but we missed it. We know there were horrors, but somehow everyone seems innocent. I suppose I'll be leaving the other two behind. I know they're heavy, but would you want to take one with you? Maybe it can teach you something, if you can get through it. Let's see how this is going so far. We'll remember Yuri's excitement coming to the valley. Kochi will be so proud to wear this suit someday. I'll remember how Yuri saw himself. I think we're almost there. Let's just look a little more. I went through all our old photos, trying to see what I might be forgetting. I love that view. Have you been up there? By the entrance to the shrine? You really should go see it when it opens. It's just across the river and up the hill. The doors to the shrine open when the sun goes down. The monk is still in there. I hope he'll evacuate. That's Matiora. She lives east of here, out in the woods by the river. She said she'll evacuate, but she's still here. It makes me nervous, but I can't complain. We're still here too. I wasn't interested in having a child at first. There are just so few these days. The thing all three of us had in common as a family was that we were pretty silly. We used to be, when we were all together. The past is such a heavy dream, and I never remember my dreams. But when I wake up, there's a cloud of feelings the dream left behind. Then the day begins, I move around, and that trace disappears. I wonder if our memories of the valley will drift away like that. Enough of these old photos. We still have work to do. My husband built these tools to study the valley. They were his life's work, and they took his life away, too. So what do I do with them? You can't buy tools like these. He made them. My husband didn't insult God, but maybe he stepped on his toe, and his life went out of him. There's the skin of our body that keeps us together, but there's also the skin of our minds. The skin of your mind can pop like a bubble, and everything that makes you yourself will come pouring out, and the earth will devour it eagerly, the way wind fills a vacuum. They might be incredibly valuable to a scientist on the other side of the world. I don't know. I also hate them. I get you're a curious soul, but I forbid you from using them. I don't care, but he did. He gave his life trying to understand this world. I can't keep these tools, and I can't throw them away. There's even more of them, bigger ones, out at his work shed. Okay, I'm going to turn away now. I want you to take them or throw them away. I don't want to know. All right, this is it. I killed him. The demon of shame and mourning. What was I thinking bringing it along? What an awful tradition. Kochi, do you still want to take a final tour of the valley? Let's get those wheels back where they belong. I know what I'll carry with me. It's something I couldn't leave behind if I tried. It couldn't be crushed, like the demon. It's too many layers deep. I'll carry the part of me that's gone. But there's so much life left that flowers grow along its edges. Something like that. I'm glad you came to Tiang Valley today. Thank you for being there for me. I didn't realize how much I needed a stranger's ear. Now, there's no rush, but as you try to wrap your mind around this place, feel free to come ask me questions. I'll be right here until night comes.
We build our lives out of what we leave behind as much as from what we carry with us.
Do you want to go on a sightseeing tour? The next tour leaves now basically. Saying goodbye is like when you empty your pockets before going to bed. You get to see what you picked up. The things I picked up need somewhere to sleep. Follow me. This is my tree. Since we can't bring it to the city, I don't care what we bring. I love the tree, and Dad cured it. That's what he did. All this purple stuff in the valley that makes you feel funny. See? This used to be purple. And dangerous. Dad made the dangerous part go away. He wanted to make it so all the purple rocks were safe and green. I know there are plants underwater. Can a tree become an underwater tree? This one can't die. It's been through too much. Let's go. Let's go. We had a picnic here a long time ago. I can't remember it, but I've seen an old picture. Can you take a new picture? And I'll sit like Dad does in the old one I saw.
He is a great kid.
Mom disappeared one time. Took me a while to find her. She was sitting right here, and she was sad. I got one of her tears on my finger, like a little bug, and I flicked it into the water. And I said, flow, 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 until it didn't sound like a word anymore. It made her feel better. Now I say it. I say it when everything is moving, but we don't want to move. Come on. Let's go. His name is Frenay. I asked him how he ended up sleeping here. Frenay said they were in the valley because they were so hungry. And then there was light everywhere, and they fell asleep forever. They should be old men now. But they couldn't get older if they tried. One time, I saw the monk out here cleaning them. It was so funny. He looked like he hated doing it. I'm not supposed to touch the soldiers, but I let Frenay borrow my pig. I need it back now. Let's go.
This must be Kochi's drawing. Do their friends and family know what happened to them? Is she still waiting? They believe a prayer put the soldiers to sleep. Is that possible? All my life I've heard solemn references to the war. It never reached our village, but it touched the lives of our grandparents. What happened here in the valley, and how did it end? I wonder what they dream about. The elder showed me this symbol. The soldiers are from the prismatic grounds. I don't know what it's like to be that hungry. That last line is kind of disconcerting. The scale of the old world grew beyond human proportion, maybe beyond human feeling. The parking lot will never die. The people here weren't ready for a war. All this will be washed away. This machine fueled countless tourists motoring into the valley. Supply lines must have been cut off when the war started.
Let's go.
We begin in our mother's arms. We open our eyes, but she's not there. We breathe in. Where is she? She is everywhere. And we breathe out. Good morning. Welcome. Congratulations. You have just stepped into a new season. You may feel as if you're seeing the world for the first time. You may have noticed that colors are more vibrant. You may have noticed that food tastes better. What you are feeling right now is how it feels to be liberated from the past. There once was a season that was beautiful. But everyone you met, their eyes were clouded, and their necks were turned backwards. They were weighed down by loss, haunted by the nightmares of another era. Now you may feel as if a great weight has been lifted. In certain cases, you may feel an unexpendable well of energy rising up inside you, because you know there is so much to do. That the world is ours. And it can be anything we want. With your help, we're going to do it right this time. you won't be alone. There will always be a hand and a voice beside you. There will always be a song to sing.
Tear down the ruin in your mind, the wound you kept inside, can you let it go? Share now the season in your eyes, the people that you'll find will forget what's yours and mine in the world to come. Tear down the ruin in your mind, the wound you've kept inside, can you let it go? Share now the season in your eyes, the people that you'll find will forget what's yours and mine in the world to come.
What if, on the other side of all our fears, is a better world? Or a worse one? What if it depends on what we do right now? It sounds like they want to adapt their organization to the people in it, and not the other way around.
I'm saying goodbye to everything, and you're saying hello. Mom says the valley is going to sleep. She asked me what I wanted to do before we leave. I said I wanted to touch the blue part of the water. And she laughed. She laughed because I have so many ideas. And I need her to tell me which ones to remember tomorrow. I wanted to see the water come up from here. To see it crash. I thought the flood would clean everything. But Mom said a flood is dirty. That makes no sense. I asked if we could stay and watch, but Mom said we need to get a ride to the city. That's our house. You're good. Come on. Let's go.
people prayed here. Who did they pray to? The text is barely legible. 3 aphorisms from the young. 1. Time moves us when we move not. There is no time. It looks like a set of aphorisms. Now to find the rest. Unlit candles being drowned in a flood, a loss of potential light, potential prayers. can still walk through the streets of my village, down the corridors of memory. There isn't enough room for a cemetery in my village. Here, memory is granted space. Land is used to let the living meet the dead. Or maybe it's the other way around. Yuri's tombstone. He'll stay behind in the valley.
Mom wasn't there when he passed away. I was there. Dad had his eyes closed, but he was making a face, like he could see something. So I asked him what he was looking at. He said he was looking at me, and I was all grown up. He saw me climbing up a hill in the sun. Then he said his memories were falling to the soil, and he had to go with them. He didn't want to go, but he had to. He squeezed my hand, and it hurt, but I didn't mind. Can we wait here a while, just to see if something will happen?
I met a boy who lost his father just like I did. It's something I don't talk about much, but I've been recording everything for you. But this feels private. I'm not sure if I want to share this with the future. I was about your age when I lost my dad. Growing up, everyone said I took after him. I didn't know what it meant exactly, but I felt proud. He fell while climbing a mountain. The other climbers looked for him. He really tried. A friend of his almost fell, maybe in the same spot. The search was called off, but my search kept going. I couldn't understand where he went. Every morning when I woke up, I thought he'd be back. Couldn't he come back just as easily as he disappeared? I was embarrassed to look for him, but I did, secretly. I thought about impossibly small places, like in the air of my breath, or in the silence between heartbeats. It was silly. I felt silly. At the same time I was growing up. I was changing all the time. Every night I would go to sleep and wake up a little different than the day before. And I realized my dad had gone to a place where you don't sleep and don't wake up, where you never change. They must be waiting for us there, in the place we all were before our memories began.
You're still here. The tour's over. That's your prize, okay? I have to go home now. I'll see you someday later today.
Kochi collected objects around the valley and laid them to rest at his father's grave. I've collected memories. Where will they be laid to rest? The museum vault? Those slips are prayers to this god for sleep? People prayed here. Who did they pray to?
I love sounds and music. If you have anything you recorded to play me.
He has been through a lot, and now we'll have to start all over again.
I think Matiora is still around. She's an old artist who lives out in the woods. You could pay her a visit.
God of sleep, I've been gathering harpic, and I've been gathering courage. If my big prayer is wrong, if it goes against divine will, please spare the people of this valley.
That must be Sonia, the monk, speaking. I've never heard her voice before.
This instrument is so beat up, but lovingly preserved. It must have played some important tunes. What a cheap-looking contraption. I'm not sure what to think about this. Stone and soil, water and wood, a collection of samples of the ecosystem of the valley. Is the ecology of the valley the root cause of everything that happened here? The text is barely legible. 3 aphorisms from the young. None should see the face of love and live. Just one more to complete the set.
He's not for sale. Not because he's special to me, but because he is trash. A crazy woman made this junk. An artist. I buried her a long time ago. I'm surrounded by it, but my eyes, I can only see here. Can you bring me photos of my art? I'd like to see my work one more time. I want to see how I wasted my life.
It looks like a person.
What do you think of it? Wrong. What a soulless object. Look at that face. Broken eyes. Nothing graceful about it. I should have grown ivy over them. At least the flood will take it all away. Was I never truly inspired? Did I really fail so completely? Let's see another.
They look like they passed out.
It is ugly, but it is also uninteresting. I thought if I stood outside his door long enough in the rain, that God would let me inside. All I did was toil my fingers to pieces. I wanted to capture this valley in a piece of art. That's all. It's just junk. Enough about my... Let me see what else you've got in that journal. My trash all on a page together, like a real art exhibit. One day, you could add my name to it. Mitziora. They might as well know who to blame. The museum vault. Every artist dreams of their work hanging on its walls. Oh my God. You'll try to go there? It's so far. It'll drain your life away trying to reach it. It might be a longer term than you expect. You may be as old as I am by the time you get there. Your journal might end up in the vault, which means my artwork might end up there. Oh, that would redeem everything. Every wasted hour. When a dream crawls back out of your throat, but I can do better than those little statues. I can. If you help me. This art will memorialize Cheng Valley. And we'll finish it together. Cheng Valley has many faces. Many themes, characters, eras, stages of its existence. Take a look through this junk, and we'll pick one of those faces. A face to show Cheng Valley to the unborn children of the next season. You do that while I make some tea.
I'm not sure what to think about this.
What is this? That's just trash. You want our piece to be about trash? You seem lost. We are here to choose a theme for our artwork. You can see through the clutter. I have looked at all this for far too long to see it. There are no mistakes, only wayward inspiration. Just pick the face, facet of Cheng Valley that calls out to you. You seem lost. We are here to choose a theme for our artwork. You can see through the clutter. I have looked at all this for far too long to say. There are no mistakes, only wayward inspiration. Just pick the face, facet of Cheng Valley that calls out to you.
Is this a sculpture or raw materials? The faces look trapped in there.
You seem lost. We are here to choose a theme for our artwork. You can see through the clutter. I have looked at all this for far too long. There are no mistakes. Only just pick the face, facet of Ching Valley that calls out to you.
Within the piles of junk, I found a metal cutout of a symbol. These patterns, what powers have they had and lost?
The sleep symbol. This is the pattern, the vibration the prayer makes. When the prayer is said, you can feel it in the air, but you can see it in the water. If you ever see this pattern in motion, prepare to sleep. There are two others. Remember and forget. But this one is my favorite. This is the pattern that ended the war. Sonia, the monk, used this prayer to end the war. A prayer to end a season. God of sleep listened. Power was greater and deeper than anyone knew. That was how the last season ended. Do you want this to be our theme? Very good. And the tea is ready. In the past, I tried to control everything. My work was dead. This time, let's follow our intuition, gather some pieces, and see what happens. What magic might be hiding in this day, which will pass and never return? This tea is good for the throat. It makes me want to sing.
Chubaleni husanota, Chubaleni husabe, Chubaleni husanota, Krimosanahi. Pleminutu sa kanora, Pleminu no sa petu, Eminu no ka serota, Manano mase. Dudua ui anota, Dudua uni ano, Dudua uni anota, Enimunahi. Luluwa temano titi, Luluwa temano te, Lulumane wano titi, Peka meha.
was it? That was Cheng Valley. I thought we would capture Cheng Valley in a piece of art, but we captured it in a moment instead. A moment can never hang on the wall of a museum, but you will still carry it with you. You were the co-author of this. I would never have found it without you. I'll rest these weary knees, these old eyes. But you're welcome to bring me images of this valley, as long as you bring them close enough for me to see. I'll tell you what I know. There's only a little bit of today left. And then the city, the flood, the lights, the next season. Oh. You'd never believe it. That locket was a gift from a famous singer. But you won't get me, an old lady, reminiscing about a dalliance? No. Next question, please. Well, you should be sure to visit the shrine. When the sun is down, the gate will open. I wish I could show you around. But maybe you can bring the valley to me. You could show me photographs you've taken here, and I'll rummage around in my mind for any gems. They haven't aged a day since the prayer put them to sleep. But every time I see the soldiers, they look younger and younger to me. Almost like children now. Do I sound like I forgive them? It is the two worst thoughts to try to hold together in your mind. They were just boys, and they killed my family. I can feel the warmth coming off this picture. The place might as well be on another planet. This is your home? You lucky dove. Just wait until I get my own pair of wheels, my own army, my electric legs. I'll be over for tea. I'll meet your darling mother. You won't be able to get rid of me. Critters of the valley. Don't worry about the animals. They'll leave before the flood. Won't they? Yes.
I knew once I went into the shrine my time to explore the valley was over. This god must be important to be the only one here.
Who are you? What are you doing here? I hope this isn't your first day on the job. There isn't much season left to record. What's that? Around your neck? That's a pendant. You're wearing a pendant. My God, I've read about those. A pendant, a burner, 5 memories, 1 for each sense. Who did you make the pendant with? And who lost the memories, you or her? I see. And what was something you burned? You burned an imprint of your hand and a memory. Interesting ritual. Similar to what we do here, but different. Yeah, why do I? Your mind will make it into the next season intact. You're protected by 5 senses, 5 lost memories. But what about everyone else? You ever think about that? Well, I don't need one. I'll be right here until the flood takes me. The first days of a new season are just so damn hopeful. Feeling that kind of hope again would kill me. I'd rather drown. Of course, of course. Few things are as painful. I told you I read about them. Look at you, protected. The rest of the world is not so lucky. Me, the people you've met on your way here, nobody else is protected. You think everyone makes it into a new season intact? Tell that to the boys face down in the parking lot. You know things are about to change. I can tell. A collective pendant to protect a group instead of one person. You're welcome to try. My memories are all over the shrine. You can have them, destroy them, whatever you want. Asking an old monk to invent a new ritual. Let me die in peace.